See how much this curiosity is really starting to ingrain on the way you think. Okay, so I'm going to be your client again tonight. What I want to do is I'm just looking for what type of hypnotist has Michael become. That's what I'm basically looking for tonight. You know, I want to see what your mind has gravitated towards, what you've maybe forgotten. Where does your mind go when certain things come up, and how quickly do you get there?
Yep.
Okay, so what type of client do you want me to be? Where do you want to start? You know, it doesn't really matter where we start, but let's think of something we haven't used. We use smokers all the time. We use weight loss. What's someone we haven't talked about yet?
Probably I'm just thinking maybe a spider phobia.
Let's do it. All right, Michael, I've turned up to your office. I'm going to give you this, actually. Let me throw something a little bit more difficult into this. I'm going to have a spider phobia, but I look really casual about it. Okay, so I've come in, you know what I'm there for, but you're noticing the way my body language is and personality, I don't really look too hooked on the problem. Okay, so let's start from scratch.
Okay. All right, so from what you've told me, Scott, you've got this fear of spiders. What's got me interested is how is it that something so small can have such a big impact when you're so big and they're so small?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, you know, Michael, when I see a spider, it just makes me feel a bit yucky.
Makes you feel yucky.
Yes.
Yucky.
Yes.
So if I was to pull a spider out now, how yucky would that be?
I don't know. Just being near them, I just find them disgusting, and I wouldn't want to touch one. It just doesn't do it for me.
Just backing that up a little bit, what doesn't do it for you?
I don't know. Like, I know some people don't get affected by them, but I don't know what it is. It's like, I can't describe it. It's like a weird feeling I get where I don't know what happens. It just, I can feel it. Something inside of me when I see it.
So it's a feeling. So I suppose a fear can be a feeling, can't it?
Yeah, I guess. It's just, I don't know. I can't explain it. It's like my whole body just feels it. They're just gross. I can't stand them.
You can't. Your whole body feels it.
Yeah, it's strange.
It is strange.
So let's pause right there. Beautiful job so far. What have we found out? What do we know?
He understands that he has the client understands he has a feeling.
Yep.
And
so
you
could say he's connected to it, which is always a good sign.
Yeah, and can't explain it consciously.
Excellent. I made a point of going down that road for a certain reason. To really reiterate this as well from the very, very start. As soon as our clients say, you know, I get a feeling about it, I can feel it, that is a really good sign that they are connected to it. No matter how casual they might be, you might not see the instant fear. But the flip side of that is also true in a negative form, that if our client's talking about their problem and never really talks about how it affects them in a feeling or sensation, there's a lot more work that needs to be done to connect them to that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Part of the reason why I said, so if I was to bring a spider out, how would you feel?
Yes.
Right? Because in my room, I have a number of little boxes.
Sure.
Right? And I would I would look at the client and
Yes.
just judge if they're starting to push back in the chair.
It's a good sign.
Then I know that they're connected to it.
Yes, I mean that's a good little thing. Erickson was a big fan of basically scaring the hell out of people as well with open promises. So it's a good little trick. Very well.
But that's where I was going with that line of questioning.
I think it's a great question to have. It'll really bluff them if they're not talking the truth.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And that's ultimately what we want to do, because the conscious mind is very mindful of testing my mettle.
Absolutely. You have to prove to it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of proving to be done. And the very fact our client is saying, I feel it. Well, the fact our client is saying, I feel it, but I can't explain it, what does that tell us? I mean, that's the holy grail for us as a hypnotist. What is that telling us?
They're at a point where the conscious mind says, I don't know the answers here.
Yeah, there's no labels for it.
And the unconscious is looking for an answer, because it's naturally curious.
Yep.
And its job as the long-term protector, it needs to come up with an answer. Either that, or you're going to feel like shit all the time.
Absolutely. We could also say as well that maybe the answer the unconscious mind has found, and the only way it can express it is with this feeling.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a verbal thing. When our clients are saying to us, Michael, I can just feel it, but I can't explain it. I don't have the words for it. You should be jumping up and down on your chair, because they've just given you a pure unconscious moment. I mean, how could someone not find the words to express themselves? It's impossible. So this is a really good sign. So we know they're connected to it. We know that they feel yucky or something like that, but they can't explain it. What else do we know? Let's pick this apart.
Well, they've obviously come to sort this out because they're uncomfortable with that feeling.
Excellent. Yes. So they've had enough of the feeling, we could say.
Yeah, of course they have. So there's some buy-in. They've turned up at the door, and they don't know what to expect. Right? There's probably a little bit of fear that I'm going to present that to them, right? I'm now thinking that I need to explore this feeling a little bit more.
Yeah.
And in doing so, their unconscious mind will come up with an answer.
Excellent. I love what you said then. I think this just lets me know what really has connected for you is we're no longer going to be talking about the spider.
No.
We're talking about it inadvertently through the feeling. Whereas the classical hypnotist will keep going, so spider this, spider that, spider this, spider that. What you're saying to me now is, I'm not going to talk about that. I'm curious about what is this feeling thing about? Because we know feeling's unconscious. The logical reasoning he's given you behind it is saying something like this: Michael, I feel something, and maybe the last time I felt it was when I saw a spider. Well, they must be connected then. And that's why a client's caught, because it is connected, but it's not necessarily the truth. All logic breaks down at some point, and that's why we get so lost in our logic. Our client says, well, I've got a spider phobia, but who's to say they just didn't get a certain feeling when they saw a spider that had nothing to do with that, and automatically they connect it and they have an issue. Okay? So let's explore this feeling. So far, I couldn't fault you. Absolutely brilliant. So let's explore this feeling. Let me try to throw you off.
Well, Scott, feelings are really funny things because we've got 5 senses, and sometimes those senses play tricks on one another. Have you ever felt something in your mouth with your tongue and thought, wow, that is so big, and then you look in the mirror and you can't even find it?
Yes, I have.
How does that work?
Yeah, it's a weird thing.
it is a weird thing.
Yes.
And, you know, years ago when I worked in the electrical industry, you'd get a feeling if you touched something that was alive.
Yes.
Right? It'd give you a particular feeling. But the strange thing is, if you touched something that was sharp, it gave you the same sort of feeling.
Mm.
Then you didn't know whether it was or it wasn't alive.
Mm.
So sometimes our feelings can play tricks on us.
Yes, I agree.
So what I'm curious about is how you've put these feelings together and come up with Spider.
I don't know, I think the last time I felt it, I saw a big spider walking out in front of me when I was walking to the shops, and it was just the fright of it just sent chills all through my body, and from that point, anytime I think about it, it makes me just feel horrible inside.
Mm. Yeah. So was it a fright or a surprise?
It's just the fact I wasn't expecting it.
You weren't expecting it. So if you knew it was there, how would you feel?
I'm not sure, to be honest. It's just
sure.
Yeah, it's like a weird feeling, and I don't want it anymore. I don't want to feel like this, just in case I see another one, or even the thought of it is just horrible.
So just going back a bit, because you didn't know it was there, and you saw it, you got this weird feeling. If you did know it was there, how would you get the same weird feeling?
I don't know. I don't even want to really get to that point. I just the feel, like even talking about it now, I can feel it. It's like my whole body just shudders when I think about it.
Oh, how does that work?
I don't know, but I know I don't like it.
That's right. You don't like it.
All right,
how
pause
would
there.
you?
Pause there for a second.
Sorry.
Beautiful. No, not at all. So what do we know so far? Brilliant. What
So
have we found out?
It's attaching this feeling to lots of things now.
Yes, you can tell it's very loose. It's loosely caught itself onto different things like a hook.
Yeah, and it's oh, that makes me feel yucky, and it could be that, and that makes me feel yucky, and and it's like they're all holding hands with one another.
Yes.
So my next question was, I wonder what it'd need to do to make it feel good.
Yep. Okay. That could be almost going towards solving it. Okay, so we don't get to that point yet.
Okay.
But so far you can hear the looseness of someone's problem. And you've probably heard this with your client. I don't know if you would have recognized it, but obviously now you will. Is when your client starts to describe their problem, what will happen is your client will come in with something very concrete, like, Michael, I'm a smoker, I want to quit. Michael, I have a spider phobia, I don't like it. And then the more you investigate it, the more it seems like they're just trying to put a story together for you that's loosely related to something by something else. Then there's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So just by exploring the problem enough, you start to dissolve what I guess we'd call the concrete nature of it, because you can hear 90% of it, and I think a very high 90% of it is just all loosely based. This is what I sort of think is the case. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The same thing remains stable, but that looseness that it has around it is the form of that loop.
And I'm trying to be mindful not to devalue their feelings.
Very correct, yes.
Right? Because I don't want to go, well, that's crap, or that's nonsense.
It'd be nice if you could and say, well, what you're experiencing is just rubbish. Listen to me. Yeah. Doesn't work like that.
No.
Okay. Excellent. So let's pick it up. Let's keep going.
Yeah, so this feeling, I'm really curious about this feeling because, you know, when we have feelings and we discover something exciting out of them, that puts it in a different light, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Yes.
Yeah, it does. And I could be wrong here, but do you think that there could be a different light that we need to shine on it?
I hope so. I'm hoping that if that's the case, it'll just get rid of this. Yeah, just this. Yeah, I can't
Really?
explain it to you, Michael. It's just like even like talking about it now, I just feel it. I don't know why I'm feeling it. It's just, yeah, it's really strange.
Yeah. Really strange. So what I'm still intrigued about is because the mind works in symbols and it puts this and this and this together and comes up with an answer. How it can put this and this and this together and the answer be the same as that?
Yeah, I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
So what's
So I want.
Keep going. Can I keep going?
So I'm wondering what else we could put into the equation to make that and that and that equal that that's not that.
Excellent. And pause right there. Beautiful. So what did we just find out? What's the common theme occurring right now as far as what our client keeps telling us?
Well, he's formed this loop and it equals yucky feeling, and it started off as a spider.
Yes.
So anywhere along the line,
yes,
if we put spider in there, the answer's the same. Right?
So what is the conscious mind telling us, and what is the unconscious mind telling us? That's probably a better question.
The conscious mind keeps reiterating the fact that there's a spider fear.
Excellent. So it's still giving you all the facts.
Yeah.
Which does nothing for us.
And the unconscious mind is still fishing. Right? It's still looking for and trying to get a handle on why it's presented this.
And how is it expressing to you?
In the not knowing.
Yep.
And it's almost like the conscious mind says, and I don't feel well. Yep. You know, I don't like this feeling. Yes. I'm with him.
Yes.
I'm with him. We don't like it.
Yes. So we can safely assume, and this is a time where we can safely assume, because it's just, you know, between ourselves, that the conscious mind keeps going back to this spider thing. Why? Because we keep asking conscious questions, and for the sake of a role play, there's no way around it. So we know that. What the unconscious mind keeps telling us is there is a certain feeling. It can feel it. So whether we debate that the unconscious mind is still trying to find an answer, all that sort of stuff becomes almost irrelevant, because what we do know is it is giving us signs that it is active, that it is doing something. So what our client's basically telling us, in the same theme that keeps getting repeated for the basics of spotting unconscious moments, is Michael, I'm experiencing a feeling, which means I'm experiencing my unconscious mind, but consciously I can't explain it. Okay? So that should get us curious about, well, how do you get a feeling, but you can't explain it to me? How is it possible that you're feeling something, but don't know the words to explain it to me? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because and it can get as simple as that, because in the context of where we are, that'll give us the loop of this thing we call the spider. You know, why is this linked to this, and this? Yeah. We're hoping just by exploring that is we're finding that chink in their armor, where we've got to think illogical about things. Is a client could tell us everything they know about spiders. They could give us every reason why they know it's a spider phobia and every this, and this. But as soon as a client can't tell us what they're feeling, but they just feel it, that should raise a red light or a red flag to us to think, how is that humanly possible? I mean, the only people I know that can't explain things very well are babies, because they don't know the language.
Yeah, and look, I want to know, and I want to know where they get off on just feeling like this.
Yeah.
You know, where's the reward?
Yeah.
Where is the reward? It's being done. Unconsciously, it's been done for a reason, right? And it keeps happening. So what didn't you pay attention to the first time?
Yeah. Yeah. We've got to think, many times, why did it come up now? What has this actually got to do with spiders? Is it, well, we know in the case of a real client, it's probably not going to be that. Why is this started as a context of spiders and not something else? How is a client lost for words to try and explain it? How is it possible that someone can think about something and get the same feelings as if they were standing in front of it? These are all signs that we need to be curious about. How is this humanly possible?
Yeah.
And as soon as we get to that, the conscious mind says, you know what, fuck this. I don't know where this is going. I'm going to leave for a while and you two have a chat.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's does that make sense where that ended up?
Yeah, because if not, I'm just consciously, we're just playing table tennis. Mm-hmm. It's backwards and forwards over the net, and we're just not getting anywhere. Mm-hmm. Right? I need to be curious with that, yes, with that unconscious mind.
Yes, every time. If you find the conversation going around in circles, you just need to listen closely to everything they're saying. You've got to think like this, and this helps me a lot as well, is when your client is talking to you, especially in the conscious mind, everything should line up. Everything should make sense to a certain degree.
Yeah.
There should be no ifs, ands, or buts. It should be just clear conversation from start to finish. But as soon as you hear something, a concept they put together, like, you know what, Michael, I've never believed that the sky was blue because I know only orange exists in this world. When you hear something like that, you've got to sit back and think, hang on, what the hell do you mean by that? Like, what are you trying to tell me right there? Because in my world, that's definitely not the case.
Yeah.
Now, in the case of this client, when a client's saying, I'm feeling something, but I can't explain it, you need to think to yourself, hang on, in my world, that's not the case because I can explain all my feelings. And it's through investigating that part there that'll open up into something really, really nice.
Yeah, because I'm wondering, how do you do that?
Exactly. And that's the curiosity of the mindset. Like, how do you do that? How do you make that how do you have that understanding? And do you actually hear what you're telling me right now? You're telling me you have a feeling, but you can't find the words to explain it. Now, for people listening into this conversation you and me are having right now, they'd be thinking, what has this got to do with hypnosis?
Well, it's got everything to do with it.
It's got the only thing to do with it, because what we're doing is we're finding a hitch in someone's logic, because that's where the unconscious moment sits. The unconscious moment glues those things together. Okay? So let's start again. Let's pick another client. Let's pick a client that is, let's try this one. I'm afraid of eating steak, or I'm afraid of eating meat. Let's try this one. This is an obscure one. Let's see where we go.
Well, what? How did you come up with this?
Well, Michael, when about 2 years ago, I was at a barbecue and I was eating a steak and I actually choked and nearly died. And ever since then, I can't even look at, steak or red meat. It just freaks me out.
Wow. How do you... I've got to congratulate you because you've got such an awesome protection mechanism that it gives you warning before you even get there.
Yes, absolutely.
That's like an early warning device. Well done. So it's a bit like, I don't know, tell me if I'm wrong here. 1 vitamin C is good for you. 10 must be 10 times as good. Is that right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Well, maybe your unconscious mind has grabbed this and thought, whoa, we don't want to go there. So, yeah.
What do we do with this one? It's a strange one.
I know. It is a strange one.
So
because...
what hasn't he told us yet?
How he's managed to relate it.
Mm-hmm.
How he's put that and that together, and now all he's got to do is think about it, and it's all that's going to happen again.
Yeah, it's definitely a part of it. What else hasn't he told us?
I'm just wondering whether it was it actually the meat that caused it, or was it the way he ate the meat? Was it the way, was it just the environment? Was what else happened?
Yep. So even before that, that'd be definitely worth investigating. What else hasn't he told us yet? Because all we basically know so far is he's afraid of red meat because he choked.
Yeah.
So are you not curious about why the hell is he here? What does he actually want to get from this? Does he actually want to go back to eating meat? Does he want to learn how to get a bigger throat so he never chokes again? These are things we need to find out first. Okay, so let's pick it up from there. Let's see what he actually wants from the session.
Yeah, so before all this happened, how were you with meat?
I was fine.
You're fine. Did you like it?
Yeah, I loved it.
Loved it. It's pretty hard when you love something and then you've got to stop.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. What I'm curious about is how rapidly you can go cold turkey on something.
Even before we start asking those questions, we still need to find out, what is he here for? We still don't know this.
So you obviously want to cure this fear of meat.
Yep, absolutely.
Absolutely.
So now we need to find some motivation. So we've got to find out. We never feel wrong. I used to do this a lot, and I mean a lot. Was if I had no idea where this session was going or what they're trying to tell me or what they're not telling me, I'd just basically ask them straight up, what do you want from today's session? Because I'm not following. And they'll give you the exact motivation or the exact reason why they need to quit or move forward or do this or that.
So Scott, if you never ate meat again, what would be wrong with that?
Well, I get invited to a lot of barbecues and I feel left out and I feel strange saying I can't eat red meat.
Ah. So it's not the fact that you're not eating it.
No. Still like to eat it, but I feel left out.
What I'm curious about is how come a strange reaction